Hey everyone, Ted Wyman here in Edmonton, the hub city for the National Hockey League's playoff reboot. I guess it's not really a reboot, it's more of a entire new start after a long shutdown due to the COVID-19 pandemic. I'm here with Wes Gilbertson from the Calgary Sun, and we're both going to be covering this series for Post Media. And the Jets happen to be playing the Calgary Flames. A really intriguing series, Wes. And for me, this series starts with how much of a factor is Connor Hellebuyck? Can the Flames solve them? And if they can't, can they win the series?
Yeah, I think it's got to be the biggest question for the Flames is how do we get pucks past Connor Hellebuyck? We know, this guy's going to win the Vezina Trophy. He was on my Hart Trophy ballot. I know he was on a lot of other people's Hart Trophy ballots. Certainly no lack of respect from Calgary side. I think, as tall of a task as it is, they need to get a couple early in game one. You need to get Connor Hellebuyck not second guessing himself, but maybe just a little bit rattled early on, and that's going to be their best chance. This is a team with a lot of firepower, but in terms of a goalie to go up against, this is as good of a challenge as you can get right now.
To me, the most important player for the Calgary Flames is Matthew Tkachuk. It could be their goaltender, but to me, Matthew Tkachuk is the guy who can get under the Winnipeg Jets' skin. He can score, he can agitate, he can be physical. He's a player that they're going to have to deal with on a constant basis, and Connor Hellebuyck is going to have to deal with on a constant basis. Do you agree with that?
I totally agree, and since that makes bad video, I'll add someone else to the mix, and that's Michael Backlund. And Michael Backlund plays right beside Matthew Tkachuk, and those are the guys who are going to be asked to shut down Mark Scheifele's line. And we talk about how difficult it is going to be for the Flames to put some past Hellebuyck. Well, if that's the case, you better keep the other guys off the score sheet, and that's going to start with shutting down the line of Scheifele, Kyle Connor, and Blake Wheeler, and certainly also stifling that power play.
Well, and then that brings a big factor. Even if you do shut them down, then you've got to deal with Patrick Laine, Nikolai Ehlers. They got Cody Eakin in the middle, who, the last time there was a full season played, he scored 22 goals for the Vegas Golden Knights. He's definitely a player who can be a bit of an X factor for the Jets, I think. But that line is going to have to, I think, contribute the secondary scoring. The last time the Jets played in the playoffs, it was all Mark Scheifele. He had 36% of their goals. Sorry, that was the last time they went on a run in the playoffs. Last year they lost in the first round. He was fantastic. They need more balanced scoring. There's no question about it. They need Patrick Laine. And Nikolai Ehlers has never scored a playoff goal. The time is now to get off that schneid.
Yeah, I think that if you were gonna start, divvying up who has the advantage here, who has the advantage here, we know in goal it's the Jets, we know on defense it's the Flames. You get to forwards and forward depth, I think both teams feel like they have a slight advantage there, and it's all gonna come down to who steps up, who does their job. Is Dylan Dubé ready to step into the spotlight for the Flames? How much does Andrew Mangiapane benefit from his first playoff experience? And on the other side, like you said, can Nikolai Ehlers, break out of his postseason funk? That depth scoring is going to make a huge difference in a best of five where, 1 or 2 goals from guys you wouldn't normally expect could be a huge difference.
I thought the Flames were really physical in that exhibition game against Edmonton, and I wondered if that's a precursor of things to come here against the Winnipeg Jets. The Jets, not as physical a team as they were in the past. Brandon Tanev in the previous season was their leading hits, had the most hits of anybody on the team. They had Dustin Byfuglien, they had Jacob Trouba. They don't have that same kind of physicality, although Nathan Beaulieu did explode a player in the game against Vancouver. So, it's going to be interesting to see if Winnipeg can match up physically.
Yeah, and the Flames' top guns, the Johnny Gaudreaus and the Sean Monahans, they don't want to play a hugely physical style, obviously, either. So, I think both teams would probably like to keep this from becoming one of those really grinded out kind of series. I think this is more of a skill series, but, guys like Milan Lucic, guys like Sam Bennett, they're going to run around just like, Adam Lowry is going to be trying to obviously impose himself physically on those top guys that I mentioned. So it's going to be a physical series. It's going to be a fast series. I mean, on paper, it's such a close series. It feels like a total coin flip to me, so it should be a lot of fun.
I agree, and I think Lowry's a bit of an X factor as well because he's a very good defensive center, good on faceoffs, big man. physical guy, and he's gonna go against Monahan a lot, but gotta put you on the spot. Who's gonna play goal?
I think it's gonna be Cam Talbot. You know, he has some playoff experience. He was the better of the two goalies down the stretch. I thought he was the better of the two goalies in camp, so I'm putting my guess on Cam Talbot, but nothing would surprise me. This one could go either way.
All right, well, I think we both agree that it's kind of a coin flip. It's such an interesting time. They're living in a bubble. They're playing in front of no fans. We're wearing masks in a hotel in Edmonton in the middle of summer to watch hockey. Well, that's 2020, right?
We're gonna remember it, that's for sure.
For Wes Gilbertson of the Calgary Sun, I'm Ted Wyman of the Winnipeg Sun in Edmonton.
Perfect timing.